Alright, what's going on everyone? Blitzball Champ here, another recap video. So, I know, first of all, I want to apologize for uploading this late. I know it's almost the weekend and I've been kind of lazy with this one. But, so, this is a recap of the Panthers versus Buccaneers, which was Monday Night Football in Carolina and Charlotte. So, Panthers suffer their third loss in a row and fall to 1-4 by a score of 17-14. Tampa Bay gets the last second field goal to seal the game for them. To be honest, this was a very, very sloppy game. This was a very sloppy game. It's bad enough that, Cam Newton was out, and, Jonathan Stewart was out. So Cameron Artis-Payne got the start and Derek Anderson got the start. But there were so many things wrong with this game. First off, turnovers. Carolina had 4 turnovers. And just wasn't good. Wasn't good at all. I mean, I think common sense would say, you get a lot of turnovers, you can't really expect to win a game. It strongly decreases your chances. Let's see what else. Oh, here's what bothered me the most. How in the world do you have the ball on the opponent's 2-yard line? It's 1st and 1. 1st and 1, meaning not 1st and goal, 1st and 1, meaning even if you don't get the touchdown, you get 1 yard, you move the chains. And what do the Panthers offense call? A pass play, which ended up being an interception in the end zone. You call a pass play when your previous 2 touchdowns, the 14 points Carolina put up, were both rushing touchdowns. It just makes no sense to me to make a call like that. It makes no sense to make a call like that. I mean, that's even worse than the Super Bowl with the Seahawks and Patriots, where they clearly should have ran the ball, handed it off to Marshawn Lynch, and if that was the case, Patriots wouldn't have won that Super Bowl. Come on, let's be real. Honestly, this game was very turnover heavy. Too many penalties, way too many penalties, and just overall sloppy game. Like, couldn't get any pressure on the quarterback. Jameis Winston had a field day. The running game, like Cameron Artis-Payne had 18 carries for 85 yards and 2 touchdowns, but the run defense, Rodgers for the Buccaneers had 101 yards on 30 carries. Excuse me. If it's anything that was maybe a positive out of this game for Carolina, was 1, Cameron Artis-Payne getting 2 rushing touchdowns, and 2, Greg Olsen getting 181 yards receiving. I mean, which is pretty high for a tight end. But Gano missed another field goal, which honestly, I think one of the things that people forget is, number one, he has a different holder. He has Andy Lee, the punter. Where for the last couple of seasons, Brad Nortman was his holder. I mean, this is the first year where he's had a different holder. So I mean, like a lot of chemistry, a lot of stuff could be out of sync, and just Gano's you know just hasn't been able to get the job done like he did the last couple of years, and it's just bad. It's really really bad, and with this loss, Carolina's 0-2 in their division. They've lost to Atlanta once, and they've lost to the Buccaneers once. Their next game is against the Saints in New Orleans. This is the last game before the bye week. There's a lot that needs to be done. Oh, and by the way, after the Falcons game, Ben Wickery got cut, and I just noticed that they just cut Demir Bird. So, and honestly, I'll admit, I'm really, really, really missing Josh Norman right now. Because I'll be honest with you, and this goes back to the Falcons game. I'll be honest with you. Y'all can say what y'all want about Josh Norman, about him not being a man-to-man shutdown cornerback. He's all zone and this, that, and the other. But I would be willing to bet money that he would not let a receiver get 300 yards receiving. Yes, I know the previous season in the Atlanta away game, he gave up 178 yards and a touchdown to Julio Jones. But let's be real. You and I both know that Josh Norman would not let a receiver get 300 yards receiving. So, say what y'all want about Josh Norman, but I am 100% confident that if it was him guarding Julio Jones, that would not happen. Anyway, in this next game, Cam Newton returns and Jonathan Stewart returns. Now, the season is not over yet for Carolina. It's getting close to being over, but it's not over yet. Because if it's anything that I've learned from watching us a few seasons ago go 7-8-1 and still win the division and still win a playoff game, anything can happen. And it's not over until it's 100% out of reach, and it's not at that point yet. So, I'm going to keep on believing that they can bounce back, but they have to start now. And I think getting this win and going into the bye week 2-4, is going to give them an opportunity to really, really regroup. Coming off a positive note with a win in New Orleans, they regroup. They have the extra week to regroup, and then they can start fresh and then just really make some noise. But they really, really need to go into the bye week with some momentum. Now, Atlanta is 4-1, and that'll be hard to catch, especially if they keep winning. But it's not out of the picture yet. And if anything, Carolina needs to start winning and build a strong win streak. And I believe that it's very possible that this can happen. But it needs to start now. So, anyway, that's all that I have for now. Next week I'll do the recap video for the Panthers Saints game, and hopefully they'll win that. But right now, Carolina's 1-4, 0-2 in the division in the NFC South. All right, this is Blitzball Champ signing off. I'm about to go to bed. Catch y'all later. Peace.